Hello, Minecrafters and Redstoners. I am Natanus Lycans. How's everybody doing today? So, we are in my Redstone testing world, and we're working on builds and everything, and recently over on Reddit, I saw somebody was messing around with the crafter for the first time ever, and they wanted to try and do like a multiple item craft. Basically, something that doesn't use just 9 or 4 or even 1 of a single block, and they couldn't figure it out. They couldn't get the items in there. So I was like, I've got a video on that. I'll just link a video to them to show how you can make such a device. Well, yep, well, where's the video? Um, hmm, I thought I made this a long time ago, and apparently I didn't, so yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do that. And we gotta go over a few things, and I meant to actually set up some visuals for you so that you could see that, and I completely forgot, so we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna do this. So, first and foremost, how do you actually make something that has multiple items in a crafting recipe with a crafter? Well, there's a few things to know about with it first. And that's what this sign's going to be. And we are going to use a dispenser as our visual aid for exactly how this would work. So let me grab a few things here, move things around. Okay. So first thing to know with the crafter is that the slots in it, and let's go ahead, let's put a crafter up here. So the slots in it fill in a specific order. They go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is exactly how they fill in anytime you start putting items in there. So when you are making a shape-based item, something that has multiple items, you need to keep that in mind. So we need to be able to put cobble in the first, second, third, fourth, a bow in the middle, cobble, cobble, redstone, cobble. So we need to be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 with the items going into it. So the question is, how do we do that? Well, it's actually not as hard as you would think, but you have to have a very specific setup. First and foremost, you got to pay attention to what direction it is all facing. And right now, this whole thing, if you look over to the side there, it should say that this is south. All right. And over here on the facing, you'll see that this is north. So bear that in mind. This thing needs to be going from north to south, and we're going to use like the south side of this, I guess, or the west facing side is what we're actually going to be using off of this. So what you need to do is set up an area that is 11 by 2 and right beside is 10 by 2. You're going to skip that very last one back there, and we're going to put a whole bunch of droppers along this. So if you're going to build this while we go along, you may need to pause occasionally, go get materials and everything, because I'm not telling you how much of any given thing we're going to use. We're just going to use it. And we're also going to do a little demonstration on what this does. So we're going to put a dropper facing west right there, and then along this line right here, all of these are going to face south, except for the very last one. So let's just go ahead and fill these in. And this very last one here, we're going to have it facing east. And then we're going to turn and have the rest of these facing north, which is going to feed into the very last one back here. Okay, so that's the loop completed. Now, on the side here with only 10, we are going to take comparators and we are going to put it all along right here, coming off of every single one of these droppers. Now, after this, we are going to put a block of some type, whatever block you are using to build. I use diorite because it's funny. Nobody likes diorite, and there's actually a very specific reason. So all these comparators are just going to feed right into diorite, and this is going to serve as kind of a demonstration part. We're going to go ahead and put a comparator there, and then I am going to put redstone lamps here. These are not what you want. You want to put more droppers there. We'll do that in a minute, but this is going to serve as a demonstration for what's going to happen next. Now, we're going to come back over here and we are going to go up one block from these, a second block, and then the third block, and then we're going to build like a little platform right above these. All this is going to serve as a placement area for our observers. So we're going to go through here with observers on every single one of these blocks. You can get rid of the temporary blocks here in a second. And basically all this is going to do is have the face watching up above it. We're not going to worry about the clicking noise right now because we don't have anything in the droppers, but yeah, there we go. We got all those going on right there. And then we are going to come in with redstone and we are just going to line every single one of these. Just put redstone everywhere. Just spam it. Okay, from here, the normal way that this mechanism works, and this is not my mechanism, this is somebody else's, we are going to come up off of this and put one block there. We're going to come out two, and then we're going to put another observer right here. This is the normal way that this works. And then we're going to go here, remove this block, and we're going to put a note block right there. And that is the mechanism and how it should work as far as looping and gathering this signal. So from here, you don't really need to do this just yet. In fact, I would suggest not doing this just yet, but you really should probably wait till you get the entire thing built up. We're going to put a slime ball right there in that very first one. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to click on this note block and you're going to see what happens. So this comparator right here is lit up, activating this repeater. So yeah, that's that first spot right there. That's the very first one that we want to happen. I'm going to click it again and you're going to see that this goes down. Now, what I will say is once you have this entire thing built, this is not actually how it is going to work. What is actually going to happen here is a little bit trickier because we're going to end up with like a double pulse going on, which means that this is going to skip 2 every time this gets a signal. However, I'm thinking that there may actually be a way to not deal with that. However, we're going to leave that there for now, just so that we can go on and continue building the mechanism out. And again, we're going to leave those lights there just to kind of demonstrate what is happening here. So now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to grab my diorite, whatever your building block is, I'm going to put one there, and I'm going to come down 2 here. And that's going to go there. You're going to find out what this is for in a minute. We're just going to, for now, just kind of temporary do that and act like that's just normal. It will be normal, but that's not how this is going to work here in a minute. You're going to see what this is for. We just need to activate this piston real quick. So we're going to come out from this. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to place another one, and we're going to come out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and go another 9, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and there's your 9. This is going to make a little bit of loop so that we can make a redstone clock or a repeater clock. And we're just going to go through here. We're just going to line this entire area with repeaters, and of course putting redstone dust in the corners. Right here, and right there. We're skipping ahead a little bit, but that's because I want to kind of demonstrate this, and I've got an idea for how this could work differently, and we're gonna like test that real quick. So from there, we need an on-off switch. We need to create a pulse on this so that it starts looping the signal, and we also need a way to turn this on and off. Now, originally I did this a different way, so we're gonna have to change this in a second. For now, we're not gonna worry about too much. We're just gonna go ahead and do this little bit right here. So we're gonna go 1 out from this. We're gonna go and do 3 here, and then come down 3 and 3 here. and then come across right there. So we're going to put a comparator right here, 2 redstone dust, 1, 2, 3 repeaters, all set to 4-tick delay. It doesn't really need to be 4-tick, but we're just going to do 4-tick anyway. And then we are going to be done with that. And then we're going to come out here a little ways. Doesn't really matter how far. This is going to have to move later, but for now, this is just going to work like that. And we are going to put a lever right there. And we're just going to hook this up. And I like putting repeaters on corners. It doesn't really matter. I just want to make sure that the signal is getting somewhere. And then right here, we're going to put another repeater there just so that we guarantee that the signal is being carried through all this. Come to think of it, we may need to just put this to 2 ticks on all those, or we could just leave it to one of them having 4 or anything, but we're just going to do that real quick. And this doesn't, yeah, we'll just go ahead and do that. So now, when I activate this lever, we should get a pulse going through here that should start activating this mechanism over here. There you go. And as you can see, like I said, this is going to skip 2 every time. Now, I think there's a different way we can do this, because I've been thinking about this. I've been wanting to do this video for a couple of days now, and I think there is a different way we can do this. And we are going to grab a copper bulb because, like I said, I think there is a very different way we could do this and stop that double clicking from happening. Let's make sure that this activates. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so we can put a copper bulb there and then have it in feeding a comparator, which then goes into a repeater. We're just strengthening the signal to go all the way down this entire chain. So yeah, now that's going to activate one at a time. Okay, so we can go ahead and turn this off. Oh, I don't have this put on here, so we're just going to delete that block for a second. And I need to temporarily put a button here because I want to turn this off. And then I'm going to take my slime ball out for the rest of this. We're going to go ahead, we're going to delete all these. And instead, we got our droppers, and we are also going to need ice here. So we're just going to go ahead, we're going to put the ice right through here up to that point. And then a repeater, or sorry, a hopper. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to put the crafter right there. We're going to put a hopper feeding into it. So this repeater right here will activate it, and this will craft whatever it is that we are trying to make. And then we're just going to line this entire area right here with droppers. So if you didn't guess it, we are going to make a water stream right here. And that is going to feed our items into the hopper so that it goes into the crafter in order to make whatever the item is that we are trying to make. And in this case, we are trying to make dispensers. We're not trying to make them. We are going to make them. Like, strike that. We aren't going to try to make them. We are going to make them. So there we go. We got our water right there. And then we're going to come in here with hoppers. And we're going to actually go too high on this. We're going to like double use the enclosure for the water here. Okay, so now we got that. We're going to come to this layer here. We're going to add a whole line of whatever your chosen block is. And then we're going to come off of these top hoppers here, and we're going to put comparators here. And basically what this is going to do is it's going to tell us whether or not this hopper right here has anything in it. Yeah, we're going to have full droppers and hoppers above that. So we're taking a signal like a little too late, but this is about the only place that we can take a signal to tell whether or not something has enough material in it or not. So it is what it is. We're just going to feed it off of that. So we're going to go right there with all of those, and this is going to feed these torches here. So we're just going to line redstone torches right there, and then above that we're going to do the exact same thing. Just put a whole nother layer right here. all these are going to turn off. That's not going to matter here in a minute. But I actually didn't need this line. We only needed this one. You will find out what I am doing here in a minute. So we are going to create a circuit right here off of these torches right here. That's going to be basically a auto on off button or on off circuit. And essentially what's going to happen is if this hopper here is empty, it's going to allow this torch to turn on, which is going to power this redstone here, which is going to go into this line, and we are actually going to turn on and off a torch over here. So you can see that right now that is powering this block so the signal can go through so that the entire machine will be in operation. However, if this is on at all right here, you'll see that this retracts. So this is going to be our indicator that, hey, we're out of an item or we're getting really low on an item. Again, yes, we got like an entire dropper's worth and then a hopper above that. That's going to be pretty much full. This is going to be an early detection system, be like, hey, something's not right here. And that's the best we can do. We can't really get a signal anywhere else from this because of the way we have to arrange things. So it is what it is. I've tried several times like rearranging this to different places. There's no real way to do it and still successfully do everything. So from there, we are going to come up here and we are going to just line this out a little ways. And this is going to serve as a visual aid, like maybe you've got this hidden behind a wall or something. And we're just going to take this and we're going to put repeaters all along this. And here we are going to use redstone lamps all the way around there. And then you're going to put your item frames there and then fill out exactly what the order of everything is. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We need a bow. 1, 2. Redstone and then cobblestone there. And that is a recipe for a dispenser. I've been saying droppers, it's a dispenser. So now from there we need to put a whole bunch of chests out here. So we're just going to go here and just line this area with chests. And what I want you to do is you're going to come to the back side here because this area should be clear and it would be a good spot to give you an idea of which ones are which. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the same thing, only in reverse order. So 1, 2, 3, 4, bow, 1, 2, redstone, and then cobblestone right there. And we can go ahead and we can fill these all up. And I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Except for this one, we will talk about that one in a second. I'm going to use that one as a demonstration. Though, actually, now let's we'll use the bows as a good demonstration. And of course, it's going to take you a minute to fill all these up. And then on here, I'm going to put like one more layer of bows so that this will go for the wall. You'll see that our on-off, our auto on-off will let us know that, hey, we're running low on bows. I know it's going to take a minute. Okay, so now that that's all full, you can see that our redstone here, our torches are turned off, meaning that this signal is going through, allowing this block to be pushed up. Now, at the same time, we're also going to steal the signal from over here. And you'll see that as this is active, that block will be in place so that it is allowing the signal to go through there, and anytime this is off, both of these are going to retract. So that the system is not going all the way around. Now then, to actually demonstrate this, we need to put a temporary chest over here. You can sort this and like have the items go to wherever you want. For now, we're just going straight into this chest right here. And eventually we could also build a auto crafter system for the bows themselves. But what I want to show you is that when this runs out of bows here, it actually will shut itself off and not overflow it. So let's go ahead down to the first spot over here and put in our slime ball. And then go ahead and activate the system. You'll see that it clicked on there. And we can watch this work. It is going to be a little bit slow because we put the redstone clock on a very slow timer. However, the point here is that it is actually going to work. And boom, it crafted. There you go. So there's one dispenser right there made. There's our 2 cobblestone coming in. And another one. And this is how you would actually do this in order to auto craft any kind of item that you want that uses multiple items. Now, like I said, this is a little bit slow, and that's because I purposely made it a little bit slower, especially with this idea, adding this so that we are not getting that double signal in. But it's also to show you like how it's working. Like I can go around and show you everything that is going on at any given point in the entire machine. So that activates the auto crafter. This always kind of bothers me because this doesn't actually activate until it switches over. That's why we're seeing these first 2 come in a little bit later. Don't know why it does that, it just does. So we should get a bow, there you go. Cobble. And then cobble. And redstone dust. Cobble. Craft. Bada bing, bada boom. And sure enough, what we are also going to be doing is using up these bows. I'm going to give it a minute to show you that it is going to turn off and that this lamp right here is also going to turn off, showing that we are out of bows in the system. And again, you could make your repeater line, your repeater clock shorter depending on like where you're playing and your computer and everything. I always find that shorter repeater clocks don't work. They usually end up turning everything on, so I prefer using longer ones. It does mean that the redstone is a little bit shorter, but it also means that the redstone will work. That's something I cannot emphasize enough to anybody that watches my videos. Like, the stuff that I build, yes, I know, it's slower, but it's going to work. Let's give these bows a few more. Actually, let's just go ahead. Just to simulate this, we're going to go ahead and take out those. Okay, so it ran out of bows. There's no bows here, and yes, I know. This dropper is full, this hopper's full. I know. Again, there's nowhere else to take a signal from and feed it somewhere. It has to be there. So the entire system has stopped right there. It doesn't have enough bows to continue on. It has turned off this section right here because this is activated. So now it's like, okay, I am out of bows. I need more bows. So we're going to put more bows in there. And you can see that that has reactivated. This piston has gone back up. Yes, this hasn't reset, but that gives you a minute to go ahead, turn this off, go back there, fill up whatever it is, and then you can reactivate this. And it will pick up crafting right where it left off. See? Nice and simple. So there you go. That's exactly how you would make something with multiple items. This system, again, is a little bit slow and everything, but it is going to work regardless of what it is you are trying to make. So if you're needing any type of item that requires multiple items to be put in, this is what I would recommend. If it's an item that only requires 2, you can do it a completely and utterly different way. In fact, we are going to do that for the bows. So let me just go ahead and we are going to build up something that is going to craft bows. So we're going to put a chest right there. We are going to have a crafter feeding right into the chest there. And then on one side of this, we are going to put a hopper feeding in and a hopper feeding into that side. And then from there, we are going to put some kind of storage item on top of it. Normally I use barrels, but for some reason I've been using just chests today. So we got chests there. We also need to set this up so that it is crafting bows. So we're just going to activate those there. And then before we fill up the chests, we need to take sticks and string and put them where they are going to go. So sticks here, and then string right through there. You can see that that is going to craft a bow. And then we can just go ahead and fill up the hoppers and the chests on the side here. Just like that, and we've got this going on. So now I am going to take observers. I'm going to put one right here. I'm not going to put the other one in there just yet, so that it is auto making. Instead, I'm going to come off of this, put a sticky piston right here, and basically that's going to cause us to start crafting everything. However, I need a signal from somewhere. We need to be able to tell that, hey, we need bows from somewhere. And I like going like right here so that we've got the chest full and we got at least a couple of hoppers full before all the redstone starts activating. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a comparator, come off of there, and then we are going to feed it around to that block right there is what we're actually aiming to get. You can see that that actually made a few of them. And actually this is backwards. So there you go. That is going to start activating this auto crafter, and it's going to make bows until it's completely full. Now, That was a little bit too quick, but you gotta remember we didn't have anything in there, so it filled it up really, really quick. This would only activate when this does not have a signal coming out of it. So now that that's done, you have seen that you can do just a single item in a different format. And again, this thing is going to fill up in a very specific pattern. However, because we got two different hoppers feeding on, it is noticeably filling up at each item in a row instead of every single item going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So all the sticks are coming in at the same time the string is, basically, is what I'm trying to get at. Got that? Makes sense. Okay, so now we got the same problem. If we run out of sticks, we don't want the string going in there and clogging up the crafter, because then you'll have to go in and possibly take out all the strings so that it doesn't clog it up, or switch it out with the sticks so that it doesn't clog it up. So we need a little system here that is going to shut off one or the other should it get full. And the easiest way you can do that, you need to be able to take a signal off of it and also depower it. And this is where things get kind of messy and you're going to have to plan a little bit. So first thing, we are going to take comparators off both of those and read them. And clearly there is enough stuff in it. And then redstone torch there. And then we need to feed these to the opposite side without activating the other one. Just like so. Actually, this did need to be here. So now this side's going to feed into that, and this should shut off this hopper should that one be empty. And then this one, I need to see real quick here. Yeah, okay, so that'll work. And then boink. And this is always about planning and making things go around and everything. So there you go. That one's feeding over into that one. And now I can kind of simulate this a little bit. We'll have to basically just break that. Now, if the hopper gets empty, it should shut off the other side from feeding it. That doesn't mean that this is going to shut off items coming into it. You may still have to put it in manually. So now that is off, and this hopper is now turned off, hopefully. Yeah, we can take that out, and you can see that it's not going to feed in there. So if this does get empty while this is trying to craft, it's not going to fill it up, and it's going to fail the craft anyway because it doesn't have enough items in there. So now we can put the chest back on there, and that's kind of how you would do it for any kind of item that requires like 2 different items. That is one way you could do it. So, yep, there you go. And then you could also take the signals off of those and feed them somewhere to give you an indicator of, hey, I'm out of this one, or I'm out of this, or out of one or the other. So there you go. And I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope my rambling wasn't too bad, and I hope you got an idea of like how you would build an auto crafter that uses multiple different items. I will get this up ASAP, and I will see you guys later. Thank you for watching. Have a blessed day. I'm Natanis Likens, and subscribe.